Hello everyone, we'll start the session now. I will just give a brief introduction about our speaker. Just a second. Today our speaker name is Mr. Dinesh Kumar sir, and he is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Government Engineering College, Ajmer. He has 19 years of teaching and administrative experience. He has received his MTech in Computer Science and Engineering from IIT Bombay and currently pursuing PhD from MNIT Jaipur. He co-authored a book on computer fundamentals of Rajasthan Board of Secondary Education, Ajmer. He has published several research papers in various national and international conferences. His research interests in the field of security and forensic, Internet of Things, IoT, machine intelligence, cybersecurity, OS fingerprinting, side channel attack, and many more. Today, we are warmly welcoming him, and I would like to request now, sir, to please take over the session. And I hope all the participants enjoy this session. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Uh, Thank you, Jugal sir, for the nice introduction, and thank you, RRU and the Priyanka ma'am, to providing me the opportunity to interact with these peoples who are associated with the field of security. So I'm going to share the slide.
Yes, sir.
So our agenda is to discuss big data challenges in the related to the cyber security. So could you confirm these slides are shown?
Yes, sir. We can see
Okay.
your slides.
Uh, Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
So shall I start, sir?
sure, sir.
Okay. So good morning, good afternoon to all. And the topic allotted to me is challenges of big data in cyber security. So basically, it contains the basically big data and the cyber security issues. So just have the why we require. Am I audible properly, sir? Am I audible, sir? Uh, could you confirm whether am I audible? So basically, in the field of basically now we are going in the field of artificial intelligence and all these things which deals with the data. Basically, data is very crucial to us, and lots of data is generated throughout the whole universe. So basically, why I am emphasizing on AI and as well as the data. So we will start with the AI, then go for big data, then we will discuss the concept of fuzzing and all the security aspects related to the cyber security. So as the you just see, the Sophia is a social humanoid robot developed by the Hong Kong-based company Hanson Robotics. Sophia was activated on the February 2016, and basically, why I am emphasizing in terms of the big data AI is there. Basically, we have to deal with lots of data, lots of AI based solutions are there with the related how these big data are generated. So I'm emphasizing on that, and so I'm just showing just a minute. So one small video that related with the Sophia. how the data is so much important, and how the decision is to be taken artificially. So this I am showing this data which is related with the Sophia. So the machines are making intelligence using the data itself. So we are going to make huge data and make the machine intelligence, but the security aspect is there. So now the driverless cars are also there. So the idea behind to show this particular video regarding the Sophia is that the data is so much important to us, and we have the big data, and we do art AI based techniques, and learn machine intelligence also. But as nowadays we are move on to the more and more AI based things based on the IoT devices and all that things. The machine takes the decision their own based on AI, but the security aspects is also there. So I am going to discuss these aspects. What are the challenges related with the big data in terms of cyber security? So Sophia has also got the citizenship from the Saudi Arabia, and India also welcomes in the month of February 2020 the Sophia. First ever interactive session with Sophia in the Kolkata itself. And these are the things basically which generates the data that makes the big. And we are going to discuss the big data things. So could anyone of the participant uh, can tell how the these data is generated. Basically now the data becomes the big data. Data is there, but how it becomes big, can any of the participant, because it's a third day, I think, third day of your FDP, so lots of things regarding the big data also discussed in the earlier 2 days. So could you please the session interactive, so that we can have the discussion regarding the big data challenges related to the cyber security. And I'll show the what are the things related with the security that we have to check in the second half of the lecture. So first half we will discuss the general things regarding the big data, and in the second half we deals with the security aspects. So you can write in the chat, or you can unmute your mic, so that I can have the idea that related with the big data. How data becomes big? You can write in the chat also. Anyone out of 12 people? So, basically, how the data become big? Basically, day by day, per second, data is generated. So, uh, as the slide shows, this particular slide, Internet of Things. Now we are in the era of IoT, basically, and each person's having some smart devices along with him or her. Basically, now smart watches, and they are all deals with the data basically and interacting with the internet, and the system generates the data. So a place where machine talks to machine, and we are going to use that particular data, but it's a huge. Related with the cyber security, we have to secure the data. So component, we will start with the IoT concept and the AI concept. So these are the responsible things which uses the big data and which generates the big data. So component of IoT is the thing in Internet of Things is it is connected to the internet. That can be a person with BP monitor implant, a farm animal with biochip transponder, automobile that has built-in sensors to alert driver when tire pressure is low. So nowadays we have seen the automated decisions taken by the automobile industry also. Driverless cars are developed by the Tesla, and some of the things that can be machine takes the decision based on AI. So data is very important, and it deals leads to the security aspects. So that can be assigned any IP address, that is the thing, and provided with the ability to transfer data over the network. So now things we know IoT, that is IoT based application areas. Now we have seen so many areas. In fact, we can call each and every area uses some part of IoT. So it may be the smart cities, smart environment, smart energy, smart agriculture, e-health, retail, logistic, industrial control. So IoT concept is also there. Industrial Internet of Things, IOV, nowadays Internet of Vehicles, and lot more things are related with the internet. And the smart word is associated with the things. Now the smart education, e-education, so two buzzwords are there related to the nowadays we are dealing with. So smart and e word is there. So each and every one is connected with these things. Now we have the concept like smart home. We are going to use smart TV, smartphone, and all the control, which is the smartphone or the tablet. We have some sensors related with the speakers, and the light is also smart nowadays. So we can call in generally the smart home concept introduced nowadays. And we can say if we are on the uh, if you are on the way to reaching the home, so we can start our geyser also by giving the data, by giving the instructions regarding that. So the each and everything involves the smart thing. So smart cars are also there. uh, and again, when the things become smart or it generates huge data basically. And these data are caught by the sensors, by the network devices. So data is very now become the it contains very volume. And smart car also concepts are there. Sensors are devices, speakers, e-healthcare, that is also connected with the internet. And patient sitting at home, and they can consult with the doctor, and the doctor can access all the data related with the patient already. And the work and the decision taken by the machine also, by the based on the history of the patient. So smart form is also there. So as we have discussed, so statistics is there. How the number of Internet of Things connected device worldwide from 2019 to 2030, it's a projected one. So number of devices connected to IoT. So as we see, there is a graph which gradually increases, and we are expecting it's around 25.44. That is in terms of billions of devices connected, because as now we have seen that each and every person, most of the persons, those are related with the technology. After the COVID also, they are wearing the smart watches. So at least as some papers suggest, research papers suggest, the now the general people contain 3 to 4 smart devices connected with them, and all the devices are generating the data over the net, and that is the big threat to the security also. So now we are come to that challenges. What are the challenges, and we have to overcome these challenges. So, as we have seen, the cybercrime statistics, due to the large amount of data and IoT devices connected to the internet, 3.17 lakh cybercrimes in India just 18 months after the COVID-19 pandemic itself. And we have heard the news recent data which is related with the Airtel, Mobic, and Big Basket, Just Pay, An Academy, and all the things An Academy related with the e-education, and Airtel is related with the mobile communication. Big Basket related with the e-commerce industry, and lots of thing. Indian Airlines data is also breaches nowadays. These are the concept, basically due to the huge data, and it is the data breaches. They can sell the data on the black market, and that data can be misused, basically. uh, so lots of things, lots of data, lots of IoT devices. One devices, day by day devices are generated the data, and the data become voluminous. So in the terms of AI and the digital transformation will converge. So at this point, I just want to discuss what are your views. These are the basic things that I have told in the slide. So Sanjay B. Patel answered social media. Yes, social media again generates huge data. Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, each and everything generates the data. So how it becomes basically, so what are your ideas, how to deal with this particular big data? It will be helpful for me if you write something on the chat so that we can discuss upon that in great detail in terms of the security aspects. So why you thought the now big data is generated using the IoT devices and all social media, healthcare devices, IoT devices, etc. So what do you think? Is it safe that we are going to in terms of the online mode and all the things? Prakash Meena said storage and security of data is again important. Storage aspects, now we move towards to the field in terms of the cloud also. Again, whenever the things comes, whenever we use the technology, recent technologies, and we have to consider the security part of that. We are going move on to the cloud, and we have to think about the security also. So can anyone put some light how why these data are important? Out of 12 to 13 people are there, including me also, and so that we can have the idea, and what we have to do for the security, why it is why so much data is generated, and it is related with the cyber security. because cyber world is there. When we connected to internet, each and everything is there on the net. So anyone can write in the chat, or they can unmute their mic so that we can have the idea. Any participants can give the answer. So it will be helpful for me to carry out in the better manner. So Prakash Meena says personal and confidential data is revealing from our basically Facebook and Twitter and all that, and that can be misused. So one thing that deals with we can call it. I'm just writing that is privacy. So privacy is the big concern nowadays due to these data. When I am moving, I have used my smartphone, and we have to generally we use the my location is on, and the Google is tracking all the data where I am going to use that particular data, कहाँ पर जा रहे हैं, then all the things that we have to be consider. I am not alone. I have when once the location is my location is allowed, and we are installing the apps and giving permission, all the permissions without looking at the details, whether those are required or not. So these are the some concern related with the. So now people talk about the security ahead to of security to the privacy. So privacy is very important nowadays also. So these are the big threats and challenges. So how the data become, how you define the big data basically. I just want to know how the data become big. Why big word is associated with there, with this particular thing, with the data in terms of volume. So if you write something so that we have the idea about that. So basically, now we are going to. These are the things what basically we are discussing due to AI and digital transformation, which all the things are there now. Nowadays, we are just showing the one statement given by the Kaiful Lee in 2018 that is very important. That AI is going to change the world more than anything in the history of mankind, more than electricity. So this is the statement given by the Dr. Lee, and nowadays we are in the era of AI, and that also leads nowadays every day we have the news of cyber fraud is there, as we are going to use the technologies, but we have to look at the details, how to protect them, and what are the challenges we have to face. So nowadays, AI chatbot is there based that is integrated with NLP and voice biometric with each and every banking website also. So fraud management life cycle involves basically I am dealing with the detection part and the data. Again, the things is there. Management, it contains the management, investigation, data, and detection. So these are the things broadly classified related with the fraud management. Management contains reporting, rules and model monitoring, analytical feedback loop. We will not get into detail of these management part. Basically, we have to discuss more about the security. So investigation, that contains some points that are alert, advanced search and discovery, workflows and case management. Data, again, the data may be real-time data. The data may be accessed by the open APIs. The data may be a data integration, entity resolution, network link analysis. So data can be accessed, can be generated by the attacker also. That can be breach the data. They can hack the data. So we have to use some detection methodology based on the AI, machine learning, now deep learning, and the convolution neural network is also there. So multi-case automated decision we have to take based on the detection alert, and we have to alert the generation. So we will come to the detail. Uh, in the great detail related to the security, and in the second half we'll discuss. So nowadays, as I'm not going to discuss the AI over there, basically AI and digital transform converge to supervised machine learning, and supervised machine learning, adaptive analytics. So analytics can be done in many ways. So we have to deal the cybersecurity aspects for that: real-time behavior, signature, contextual analytics, network analytics, and robot process automation, dynamic rules, and threshold tuning. So these are all related with the AI-based workflows, and these are the things that leads to the system make the predictive analysis part of that. So if we are able to predict the things before it happens, that is the good for us, uh, and it will deals lots of hazards to be generated. So just like we are going to predict whether the forecasting of weather is based on some data, based on some AI techniques. So we are not discussing the AI technique over here. We are discussing the cybersecurity issues. So basically, artificial intelligence related with the automation and learning with the data deployment and discovery, and it deals with the data management, visualization, machine learning, vision, forecasting, and optimization. As I already told, we have to take the decision support is also based on this. So. So this is all about what exactly where the data is generated, and we can have the data related with the network. We can have the data related with the IoT devices. We can have the data related with many more things are there. So what is big data? These are the basic things. I think you all are aware of that. I am just brush up all the things so that we can have the idea about that. So, big data is all encompassing term for any collection of data set so large and complex that it becomes difficult to process using on-hand data management tools or traditional data processing application. So, could anyone tell? Basically, big data contains a large, huge amount of data, and its data may be large and the complex one, and it cannot be handled easily. And big data refers to the extremely vast amount of multi-structured data. We'll come to that types of big data, and that typically has been cost prohibitive to store and analyze. So that is the big challenge now. We use the cloud for that, and cloud services provider deals with the service as a service, software as a service, and a lot of things we are dependent on the cloud also. So could anyone tell basically how many types of big data are there? Any types of data? Basically, we have to deal with the data. So anyone of you just type in the chat what are the type of datas basically to deal with and related with the cyber security types of data, big datas. So anyone of you can write in the chat or unmute. So data, basically data is important, and we have to, yes, as one answer came from Sanjay sir, that is semi-structured data, structured data, unstructured data. So could you give any example of that? So we come to the particular next slide that we have to deal. Yes.
Sir, sorry, sir. Good
Yes,
afternoon,
sir.
sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, semi-structure, structure data, that means we have the structure of like a column and row,
Okay.
and semi-structure like a XML or JSON format. And unstructured data, that means the video format, JPG format, like that.
Yes, yes, you are absolutely correct, sir. So, structured data, which is, as the sir suggests, he's giving the right example, spreadsheet and the table and columns, unstructured, that is not predefined data models or not recognized in the predefined manner, just like video, audio, images data. And semi-structured is data with some unstructured data. Examples are email and text messaging. So basically, these are the big challenges because in cyber security, what happens? Based on the type of data, basically we have to make our policy, or we have to test our system for the security aspects. So data is very important, and we have to deal the data accordingly based on the structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. So a big data platform must have analyze a variety different types of information that is based on the these three types. This information by itself could be unrelated, but when paired with other information can illustrate a caution for an various events that business take can take the example. So on the very first point, where we are big data platforms such as analyze a variety of different types of information, basically. So in big data, what happens? Sometimes we have so many, in terms of machine learning, we generally call it features. So many columns are there. So collectively, we can call it's a information. It may be correlated or uncorrelated. So if it is, say, student data is there, so we can take the name, ID, and date of birth, and collectively we can have the information, meaningful information for us. So analyze the variety of different types of information based on the data collected through the sensors, so through the network, based on the application what we use. And it big data, again, we define, covers extremely large volume of data. So large volume of data can be collected based on the petabytes also. So due to the devices in the network, how they are used, along with the customer interaction on his smartphone and the web, a cost efficient process to analyze these huge data of the information is required. So why I'm emphasizing on this particular term, that is large volume. Basically, some V's are associated with the big data, and now we are in the era where data is basically in wireless technology. Data is roaming in the media itself. So it covers varying types of data sources, that may be a streaming data, batch, structured, and structured, as already we have discussed. It comes primary use, and big data must be able to accommodate all of these various types of data in a very large scale. So we have to be cautious while storing the data, while accessing the data, while making some decision on the data based on AI based techniques. So lots of things related with the data, and we have to deal with the data in terms of the secure manner. Even that frauds are really increasing day by day, as now we completely move on to the online platform due to the COVID pandemic. Education is now online. Companies, professionals working from home itself, that is work from home concept, it is introduced. So many things are there that leads to the security breaches. So analytics to be done on this data, and analytics means we have to infer some information. What are the data are correlated, and how we take the useful information, so that it can be analytics of data can be used in many manner, in terms of business, in terms of our predictive analysis also. So these are the big data platform. Now we have to consider these are the very basic things, but we have to consider in fact while discussing the challenges related to the software itself, software testing and all that things are there, because when the data is collected and when security breaches are there, each and every IoT device embedded with some software, embedded software, firmware, and it deals with the OS or compiler concepts. So in the next half, we will discuss how the software testing can be done, that precaution that allow us to not the software to be crashed, or what are the things are there. So we'll discuss in the great detail. These are the five characteristics. Five V's are there. Big data related with the first is volume. Already we have discussed. So I'm just summarize it. Data created by and moving through day by day services may describe tens of millions of customers, hundreds of millions of devices, billions of transactions or statistical records. Such scale requires careful engineering, as it is necessary to carefully conserve even the number of CPU instructions or the operating system events and network messages per data items. So these are the technical terms that can be used everywhere. So it can generate by the network, it can be generated by the operating system, it can be generated at the compiler level, CPU instructions, and huge volume is created. And velocity of the data, as the name suggests, uh, how much time it takes to generate the data, and timeline less is often critical to the value of the big data. Say we are going to generate the data in millions of in milliseconds, how much data is required. So many things are there. Data is generated, and it is generally we visit the we visit the particular site. So my data is collected over the net, over the internet, and based on this my searching over the website, some ads come once we are going to browse our shopping sites. So these are they are taking the decision in very few times, very less time. So variety of data is there. Already we have discussed that maybe the multimedia data, web document, medical records, any structured data. Veracity of data, as an variety of data is there. As per the, I'm just basically emphasizing on based on the IBM data website. One is deals with the huge data challenges are there. So these five V's are very important. And variability, again, variability means beyond the immediate implications of having many types of data, the variety of data may also be reflected in the frequency which new data sources and types are introduced. Why variability? Say I'm just taking one example, smart band or smart watch. So we are basically, in terms of the security aspect, what this particular smartwatch is connected to our particular smartphone also. We install the app at our phone, we can access the data, whatever the data captured by my smartwatch. And that smartwatch varies from small to big companies. We have the Apple smartwatch also. We have the various company both smartwatches based on the functionality and the security aspects. They're the variety of data, and they are going to store the data in variety of manners. So for the particular application, single application, we have the variety of data. Just for this is just the example of a smartwatch. We have the so many companies which deals with the smartwatch companies, and they store the data. It may be they're storing the data in the different manner. So variety of data can be done. In machine learning, what we call data cleaning, and data before processing the data, we have to pre-process the data. So data is very important due to this huge volume, variety, variability, veracity. So these are the big V's for the big data that generally deals with huge amount of data is stored. Now the analytics trends also changes based on the data generated in terms of 90s and nowadays 20s in 21st century. So in 1970, I'm just enhancing this particular slide, and just laser pointer is there. So analytics based on the data generated history, we have the so many things are there. Data analysis. Now the computing paradigm also changes. Technology platforms are also changes. So in 1970s, we have the flat files and classical statistical methods that can be used based on mainframe computers. Technology is there. In 90s, 80s, as we have the relational databases, data integration and analysis technique can be used. That is advanced analytics method, multi-step process flows, and it deals with the computing paradigm is open systems and network systems based on Unix and all these things. Now the data warehouses, the same thing is there. Client server technology comes into 90s, and we have the network and Linux systems. Linux system was always there from starting itself, but now the trends is changed related with the analytics based on the data, based on the analysis method is changed, based on the computing paradigm is also changes nowadays. Technology is also changes. Data virtualization concepts are there based on unstructured data, and we use the analysis method for that. Grid-based analytics, distributed huge memory is required to analyze the particular big data. So computing paradigm is multi-core systems introduces in the year of 2000, and virtualization concepts are there. So we have just like mobile and grids technology platform. So now we are in the era of 21st century when big data is just like the cloud, and big data Hadoop is using. We have to use in data processing in stream the machine learning, deep learning. Nowadays we are uh, discussing the concept of CNN, also convolution neural network learning. So computing paradigm, again the databases, cloud-based things, Internet of Things, APIs, lot of APIs are there related with the data and technology. And now we are moving on to the cloud-based infrastructure, platform as a service, software as a service. So we are going to use various services of the cloud based on provided by the different company. So the important thing is that based on the data generated, based on the data, it may be the structured, non semi-structured and unstructured. We have to change our analysis technology analysis method, and we have to require more computing power to solve that particular problem. And now completely now we move towards in the online era based on the cloud infrastructure. So that is basically new trends comes related with big data, and these are the various challenges and we have to deal with. So uh, I'm not in this particular part. I am not touching upon the security part, but in the next discussion, we will touching upon the entirely on the security part. So based on the presentation right now, if you have any query related with big data and its analytical part, so that I am happy. I will be happy to address that particular queries. So I'm not touching upon the security aspect now. I am totally concentrated on the security aspect based on the softwares. What are the techniques by which we can have the solution? We can check some security aspects, and lot of things we have to discuss regarding security, because I am dealing with the security aspects. Security aspects deals with the side channel attacks and all lots of things are, because once we adopted the technology nowadays, smart TV, smart home, smart agriculture, so we have to be more cautious regarding in terms of the security. So what do you think? My question is basically, do you think this all the technologies as we are using now are safe? So anyone of you can give your idea about that? Anything that you feel where the security is? I'm asking that particular question in different manner. Is any area that does not require security nowadays? Now in our scenario in the 21st century, any area you can address that doesn't require security, or why cyber security is important nowadays? We are all talking about the cyber security and AI and machine learning, deep learning. So Prakash Meena gives the answer. Games is not required the security. It's outdoor or online games. If you are on the online games, the security aspect is required, because you are providing, sometimes you are going to pay some money while getting some credential to play on that particular. Nowadays, as you heard, PUBG and all that things, lots of things happen related to the security. Even it deals with the suicidal case and all that. So that is the addiction part, but security aspects is there. Only the outdoor games doesn't have the particular security aspects in terms of online era. I'm discussing related with the online era. Any other field that doesn't require security? Uh, Next question that I can is your IoT device is secure? Whatever you are associated with the, how many of you have using basically the smartwatch? I think most of the people nowadays, due to the health issues, wearing the smartwatches. Anyone? Do you feel these all wearable devices, whatever the devices related to the internet, connected to the internet, connected to the smartphone, are secure? Now, in the second half, we have completely move on to the security aspect. Deals with the cyber. Cyber is what cyber security is. If we are going to connect with the internet, the security aspects come. Anyone can give the answer or unmute or write on the chat. So I will be more happy to give the answer and discussing the things. So the conclusion of this thing is that what we have discussed right now, big data is very important to us. Big data security is very important to us, and various challenges are there related with the big data, because we have to secure the data. We have to, because and we have to check how that data can be secured. So whatever the security vulnerabilities, now I am come towards the particular security aspects things itself, which deals with term with the security. Because if we secure our data, if we are whatever the we are using, uh, the things that can be done in terms of security aspects. And lastly, or primarily, I should say, nothing is secure nowadays. Once we get connected to the internet, nothing is secure that can be done in terms of the privacy also, or all that things. So I'm stopping that particular presentation regarding with this particular big data. Now I'm moving to the second half of that, the security aspects. So I want some interaction because I love the security aspects very much. So it will be helpful for me to proceed my talk in terms of the security challenges and the security things. What you are going to what we are going to discuss. So some inputs from your side so that we can have the discussion. That is the main objective of this FDP. And sharing I'm stopping that particular slide and sharing the next slide based on the security aspects and the cyber security challenges related to the big data. So just a minute. So could you please anyone confirm the slide is visible? The next slide is visible. So I have not shared yet. So now it's shared. This is part two. So slides are visible, I hope. Yes, anyone can give write in the chat. So now I am concerning with the challenges related to the security and what are the techniques to find the vulnerability in the systems. Find the vulnerability in the systems related with the connected to any devices, any internet connected devices. So as we know in the uh, as we know in the software engineering part, that is the testing is there. So we have to test basically these are the challenges. Big data challenges are there, and we have to mitigate. We have to solve the problem related with the security aspect. We have to check the particular software in a great detail before launching to the people, and even lots of problems are there with this thing. So can anybody just write how you check what are the different types of testing that that you seen software testing? Any idea about that? Because in software we have to test something. So testing. So I'm touching upon the new thing that is fuzzing that deals with. I'm just writing the one term that is in the chat. Uh, if you are able to answer, then I will be more happy. I'm writing the term in the chat. That is zero-day attack. Have you heard this term? Any one of you? You can write in the chat. So why I am discussing the challenges related with the security, cyber security deals with data. So data is generated by the particular software, by the particular embedded software, which is embedded with the IoT devices. So I'm emphasizing on the software implementation part or of that, so that if we are able to secure the particular software, so that can be a big win for the cyber security people. So the data cannot be breaches so via any application. Have you heard any term related with this particular that I have typed, zero-day attack? Any one of you out of 12 people, including me also. Have you heard this word zero-day attack? Attack, I think everyone knows in the cyber world, cyber attack. I'm basically deals with the zero-day attack. Anyone? Anyone? So basically, zero-day attack, as the name suggests, basically deals with the undiscovered vulnerabilities, from the software development life cycle when the product is launched. As you uh, see nowadays, once the project is launched, due to some vulnerabilities, small vulnerabilities that sometimes the software developer and the sometimes software tester missed, due to this zero-day attacks happens. So I am dealing with the techniques that help us to solve the attack problem, zero-day attack problem mostly, because nothing is secure. Sometimes it happens, it may be missed by the manual process. So it's a testing related with the automation one. I am touching upon the concept of fuzzing related with the testing. So we have the discussion on that. Uh, and that is the big challenges that I found related with the cyber security, because once the system or the device get vulnerable to attack for the hacker, so they can take control over each and everything, and lots of hazards can be done for in terms of online era. So I am come to the directly come to the security aspects. I hope some of you have heard these terms. Fuzzing. So I'm discussing. I'm just dealing with the fuzzing definition. Then we come on the next slides. We'll discussing the big challenges related with the fuzzing and cyber security. How it helps to protect the cyber security and all the aspect, because data is generated. If the data is generated and misused by the attacker, that becomes a big challenge. So, fuzzing is what? It's a automated testing to detect software bugs and security-related vulnerability analysis. So, this definition basically contains it's a automated testing. Just like we are not going to check by the human. It is automated based on some concepts, and now the machine learning can be used for predicting, for analyzing the threats which are going into the live environment also. So I'm not discussing the machine learning part of that. I'm discussing the security aspect and challenges. So automated testing to detect software bugs and security related vulnerability analysis. So that can be done in that manner from the automated one. And process is what? Basically, it feeds target automatically, generate malformed input data to the application. So basically, I'm emphasizing on automatic word is there, automated testing. That is, fuzzing is automated testing, and it generates the malformed input. So malformed input is what? Intentionally, we are going to give the data which is invalid for the particular program. Just like we are saying input the values, integer values for addition of two numbers, and we are providing the input as a character a b instead of writing the some numbers. So that can be the system can either the system can deal with this particular problem. If it is not deals with that particular problem, then that will create some problem while running the application, or the application may crash also. So application is monitored for any sign of error, for crashes or the potential memory leaks, uh, etc. So what happens in this particular fuzzing technique? It's automated testing, and which detects the software bugs and security related problems, and we provide, and it will generate automatically the malformed input data that application leads to crash. So fuzzing is the software, the tool based on fuzzing is fuzzer. A fuzzer is a program that performs fuzz testing on a program, and the test, that is the application, that may be the any operating system, that may be the network, that may be anything, application programs, system programs. So we'll come into the details of that. So how we define the vulnerability? That is that once we come to the security part, these terms comes out ultimately. Vulnerability is defined as weaknesses in the computational logic, that may be the code found in the software or the hardware component. When exploited, result in negative impact of CIA triad, that is confidentiality, integrity, and the availability as the primary concept of the basically information security. So mitigation of these vulnerabilities in the context of typically involves coding changes, but could also include specification changes or even specification removal based on the protocol and functionality. We will come to that. So vulnerability statics. This is the static taken by the NVD, NIST, and these are the statistics based on how severe the vulnerability is. Some vulnerability related, software related vulnerabilities and hardware related vulnerabilities. Various types of vulnerabilities are there. We come to that. CVSS, severity distribution over the time, as in the slide that you can see. I'm just taking the pointer. So this particular severity and values is calculated based on the data. CVSS, severity distribution over the time, as you say, and 2020 this graph is again upward, and the vulnerability detected and reported in the software as well as the particular embedded software also. So that is the reported vulnerability over the site. As you see, whatever the data attack or breaches related with particular product, that is reported to this particular site NVD, and we have to give the particular patch for this particular application. So as the graph sees, this graph is increasing, and this is the data taken over up to the vulnerability reported to this website is in the month of June. When we take the data, the whole year data, I am sure that this particular bar graph increases and at the highest position, because in 2020 and 21 era, we are in the completely online mode, and security, so many vulnerabilities, so many issues generated during this online, and data which is also there. So fuzzing versus testing, basically, I'm just pointing out. Fuzzing is what that run program on many abnormal input. So my emphasis is on the abnormal input. These are the big challenges. Basically, if you want to check any system, so we have to fed the negative input or abnormal input to check the particular system, for finding the system get hacked or the device get hacked. And we are looking for the abnormal behavior based on the data log generated, and for the analysis of log, we can use machine learning techniques and deep learning techniques for that. uh, just like I'm just looking at the data which is abnormal behavior, or we can say it's an anomaly detection by the IDS also. So many things can be incorporated in terms of fuzzing. So goal is prevent attacker from encountering exploitable errors, that is undiscovered vulnerability. So the errors which is exploitable by the software, by the automated system designed by the hacker. So testing is runs just like the normal program generally we make, and we test for the normal input. Don't look for the errors. So run programs on many normal inputs. Look for the errors. Goal is to prevent normal users from encountering errors. So major difference between fuzzing and testing is, in fuzzing we work on the abnormal input. Whenever the data is required is integer, we are going to provide the character data as simple. And if your program is able to handle this one, that is okay. If it is not, so there is a concept called the programming, secure programming. So we deals with the small things that particular program makes secure. So we are emphasizing on the input and the output. Say addition of two numbers that can be done on integer. So we are just testing, we are just declaring the word any data type, and we have to be very careful while using the data type also. Even these data types uh, can become huge hazards, and the system also crash due to this. So I am going to tell these all these things. These are the challenges related with big data, because big data is generated with this particular software, operating system, or the IoT devices, and if the attacker can able to hack that particular system, that it's a very big challenge. So valid versus invalid input, that is the fuzzer related with this data. Say some valid input are there, that is generally we call it testing, and valid input that we expect a defined behavior, that is accepted. 2 plus 3 is 5. If we provide 2 integer and 3 is as an integer, then it's okay. If program doesn't deal with the data types, then a plus b, what happened? So the compiler should report an error. If it is not in design, compiler is not designed in that manner. If it is not defining the things, so something can be happened for the large programs. So some invalid input that is directly related by the system, but some inputs are unexpected input that defines the undefined behavior. So that is the our main objective of the fuzzing. So some unexpected behavior given by the system, whatever the connected with the internet, deals with the uh, s- that are responsible to generate the big data. So fuzzing steps are uh, identify the target system, whatever the target system is there. Then we have to identify the inputs, then generate the first data automatically, execute with the first data, monitor the system behavior, log defects, and we can work upon the machine learning techniques and the deep learning techniques, whatever the predictive techniques you can use, and that can be used for predicting in the live environment also. So because big data is sometimes we have to take the decision in the live environment whether this attack is going to happen or not. So some fuzzers framework are defined by the various companies like Google and Microsoft itself, and some fuzzers are basically AFL, that is American Fuzzy Law. So system can be checked, deals with this, and Adamsa, Hong Fuzz, Leap Fuzzer, OSS Fuzzer, that is the Google project that is used for the continuous fuzzing in the live environment also. B fuzz, Peach fuzzer, and many more. And some fuzzers are related with IoT devices also directly. So fuzzers, basically types of fuzzers are that we have to take the input from the scratch, and that is the generation based fuzzer, and modification on the inputs based on the generation based fuzzer, and we mutate the particular data input data accordingly, and automatically feed to the application. Internal structure based on dumb and smart fuzzers are there. Program structure based on this, the white box, black box, and gray box fuzzers are there. As the name suggests, white box and gray box testing. Black box, we don't have the source code. White box, we have the source code of the particular application. Gray box is the mixing of that two. Sometimes partially we have the code, and partially we have the embedded system directly embedded on the particular IoT devices. So where the data can be first. So that is return and implementation flaws is there. Fuzzing typically finds implementation flaws based on the memory corruption in the native code. Native code is what? Basically, large systems are used for implementing the things, and we are going to use the native libraries, various libraries based on the application. So, some fuzzing deals with memory corruption in the native code, stack and heap overflows, unvalidated pointer arithmetic integer overflows. So, fuzzing typically implementation flaws comes into the unhandled exception in the managed code, and format exceptions, memory exception, null pointer references, etc. So, fuzzing typically finds the implementation flaws in the SQL injection against the backend database, LDAP injection, and HTML injection, cross-site scripting, various things. So, fuzzing can be applied to any application, any interface, any programming language, any compiler, any IoT devices, framework, any IoT devices, embedded software with the source code is available. Even the source code is not available. We have the different techniques, just like IoT fuzzer works. So we have so many techniques for that, and we are basically emphasizing on native code fuzzing. That is most important to us. Why it is important? Basically, we have to deal with unsecure. I am calling C and C++ is unsecure programming language where memory is very unmanaged, and it is also powerful because it gives the pointers, arithmetic pointers in the power of particular application programmer. Language like Python, Ruby, etc. are built in C++ and can call be directly to it. Android OS kernel, which we are going to use nowadays, huge use of Android smartphones, and OS kernel is also basically deals with and it is implemented in C++, Android OS kernel, Linux OS kernel, OpenSSL, that is related with the secure socket layer. Many more can be listed due to native code library in the C++. Advantages of fuzzing is what? Basically, first testing improves large software system and application security. Basically, it is deal with the large software system and application security testing. Undiscovered vulnerability. Why am I writing undiscovered vulnerabilities over here? Because they are very severe, and most of the time it can be used by the hacker to exploit the particular application, and that can even get the control over the system, and our system get hacked, and they can misuse our systems. And nowadays we are hearing all the things. My Facebook account is hacked, and because we are going to the data which is revealed, some settings we are not done in the setting part of Facebook, so that can be done. Types of first testing, it is already we have discussed black, white, and gray based on the software security. If we A method of software security black box, when the security controls, defenses, and design of an application are tested from the outside in, and which little or no prior knowledge of the application internal working. We have the outer structure, just like in the embedded software, just like in the IoT devices. The things, the code is written with the embedded system itself, and we have no knowledge how it works, and that doesn't reveal, company doesn't reveal the code for that. So functional black box testing, again it is there, and black box testing based on the functional, and to create the valid and invalid input. So regulation black box testing, it's a combination of these two, functional and non-functional. So white box fuzzing, basically when this particular thing, what we call it, we have the compiler code written and white box instrument software via spatial compiler, and uses algorithm to generate input patterns. What are the different input patterns are there, and we have the knowledge of the implementation part, and we have the code for that. So white box testing allow you to examine the inner working of the path, and flows of data, to see whether they are make most sense and conform to the system requirement. So we have the concept of called data flow analysis and control flow analysis in compiler. So we test our system in that manner. So the first section can be done when we have the code of the particular application. So gray box fuzz testing, it's a common combination of black box and gray box. It uses some concepts. So now the comparative study, whatever the technique used in the fuzzing method. So these are some pros and cons. I'm not dealing with the practical aspects right now because due to the limitation of time, so that we can have the basic concepts regarding fuzzing. So I'll show the various researches going on. I'm also working on this particular area related with the software testing that generally leads to zero-day attack. So if any one of you interested deals with the software testing, automated software testing, fuzzing related to any device, IoT device related to any application, then we can have a discussion on that. So fuzzing method based on the mutation and the generation based, as earlier slides says, and generation based we have to write generator label extension for the complex programs, and that is written over there, and that means we have to if you have to generate the input by manually, that is the cumbersome task, and the mutation based, once we design the input, and it will automate it based some they say flipping some input bits, and it is generated automatically. But it is little to no protocol knowledge required for the mutation based, and limited by the initial corpus, because in mutation we don't have the initial corpus, so it may fail to check the protocol or the checksums or the complexity. So these are the comparative study on that. So, what are the challenges in fuzzing? What we saw that directly deals with the cybersecurity, that directly deals with the security, that directly deals with the data generated by the software system in terms of the operating system internal working, as well as the IoT devices, smart devices, each and everything. So these are the standard problems we face in the most automated fuzzing. Is mutation based, that can run for forever. We don't know when we have to step fuzzing to check the particular system. Generation based fuzzing, that may be stopped eventually, and that are the challenges, because if we test some cases in that manner, the system can crash. So many times we found that we are running that particular open the particular app on our smartphone, and suddenly it collapsed. So something is negatively done due to some system setting. And the most important thing in fuzzing is it is dependent on the system that we are working on, the infrastructure that we are working upon. So Google OS's fuzz is a continuous fuzzing technique that is they are going to use based on the cloud, and they are integrating so many fuzzers related to the application before launching. So they are going to find on the list. I'm just showing the websites, the CV website. That vulnerabilities are detected and reported over here. So that is I'm just CV CV details. You can this is the CV details. Uh, so that is based on that you can see that I have discussed in the slide itself. CVSS score, that is the severity index. So number of vulnerabilities, that is a percentage, and that gives all the data. So So this I am searching out the vendor also. These are the common vulnerability exposure that is reported by the particular vendor, by the particular company itself, and that is the common database. So I'm searching top 50 vendors. That is this one. So as you see the names, that is Microsoft, Oracle, Google, Debian, Apple, IBM, Cisco, Red Hat, Canonical, Linux. These are the vendors name, big names. Generally we saw. So that is Microsoft. My number of products, that is 655. So till now, top 50 vendors by total number of distinct vulnerabilities found reported in their product. So they have a 655 product in this era, and the number of vulnerability is 8183. So I'm just all-time leaders. I'm just on to that. In 2021 itself, just we can see the data for this, and products are say something. We have the so many products, and we can vendor we can search out by the vendor on the product. So these are the things. I'm just emphasizing on that particular, as generally we call Apple is so much secure. So these are the vulnerabilities, structures, number of vulnerabilities that found year-wise 99, and these are the things. In 2021, we have 474 vulnerabilities. That is number of vulnerabilities found based on these are the parameters. These are the parameters that is used to find through the fuzzing, and these are the big data challenges I feel in terms of cyber security. We are emphasizing that Apple products are secure, but that Apple nowadays in the recent, I think you have heard the news. Apple watch products, whatever the Apple iPhone is detected some vulnerabilities, and they have reported vulnerabilities in that. So my emphasis on that, why I'm showing this particular CV details, because DOS as DOS attack, code execution, overflow, memory corruptions, SQL injection. These are the variety of the error that can be checked by the fuzzing itself. So fuzzing concept is very important. It is not the new concept, but that incorporated the new technologies for finding the bugs. And always once these are the graphs, they show all the years and all that. So some graphs, so they have the very good statistics, whatever the reported. So we can see this data for the vendors, and one more this is the CV details, and one more website is there that will be the company reported their NVD, that is again National Vulnerability Databases. So that is again the important site that deals with the vulnerability. So basically, as you see, whatever the concepts are there, they reported last 20 scored vulnerability IDs and summaries. So they have reported some Apache Tomcat and Python C, Python libraries, and this is vulnerabilities based on search statistics. So many things that is reported by the company itself, that is reported over here. So we can search the things. Say I'm going to search the overview and the statistics. That is Apple. I think if what it basically matches. So, so this is a table that it gives. Matches by year and 2021, so that can be verified from here itself. So these are the percentage matches, and vulnerability based on the particular so these are the two websites, cvdetails.com and nvd, .nist.gov that recorded the company reported their vulnerability over here. So based on this, as you now you can see the bug bounties program. Have you heard the term bug bounty? Have you heard any one of you? Because now we move towards the end of this session, basically, and why these techniques, fuzzing techniques, and why these fuzzing techniques and all these things. Why I'm showing because basically we have to deal with the latest technology to be secure one, and before launching the product, even after launching the product, the things are basically systems are reported error. So any one of you can tell what are the bug bounties program reported or organized by the companies? Anyone of you? So bug bounty programs basically generally before launching the product, and they uh, give the things, they open challenges to the security persons that they can found the bug in their software. Basically, software may be operating system, it may be the compiler, it may be the IoT devices, any APIs, any interfaces, any network devices, so it can be found in any software and the hardware. So generally, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, they all runs the bug bounty programs, even though even though the system get hacked, and they reward the users. In the recent past, the girl from the South India itself got rewarded for the bug bounty program by the reputed company, and so these are the things. Whatever I feel, the big challenges with the big data, because big data we stored. First challenge is how to manage this big data, how to store in the proper manner. Second thing is how to secure this particular data, and third is how to mitigate the applications so that the data becomes secure or not hackable by the author. So I am concerning with these with the cyber security itself, and the deals generally deals with the fuzzing technique. So any questions from your side? I am happy to answer. So these are the challenges, and this is all about to discuss now. I can give the answer of your queries, whatever the queries you are related with the testing and the security aspects. So I am happy to answer all these queries raised by you based on the discussion what we have made in this particular session. So any idea, any query, anything you want from my side, so that I can discuss over in terms of security. So after security, the next term comes is the privacy. So privacy is now a big concern, and now the laws are making by the government also, from some country also. So any questions? Any questions? So any question from the participant side related with the security, related with the big data, related with the cyber security, related with testing, software testing, any questions? I'm happy to answer. So that is from my side regarding the discussion. Uh, this is my mail ID. I'm just writing in the chat itself. If you any concern, if you any want to discuss, you want to pursue any research in the field of fuzzing, then you can drop a mail to me, so that I can help you in this regard. So, this is my email ID that I shared, pkkhunteta@echma.sc.in. So I am happy to reply you, revert on the mail, if you are interested to do something in the field of fuzzing or the automated software testing.